the argument with the left is often riddled with really large words and judgments. And there's a lot of focus and complaining on what's wrong with the country, what's wrong with the world. And there's not as much acceptance for where we are, or as much gratefulness for what we have. So I get really frustrated with that too, because I try not to focus on the negative.
Now, do you agree with this? It feels like the far left almost uses that negativity to their advantage, and that's what they want those people to feel. Like, a lot of people that are on the left have that victim, poor me mentality. Like, the far left is what I've ran into. It's like they use what's happened to them as an excuse. They're using it as a crutch, rather. And it's like, for example, I have an eating disorder. Oh gosh, there's no way. And people become this victim of their circumstance of like, there's no way I can overcome this. They define themselves as their struggle rather than using that struggle to uplift them. Mm-hmm. And in my experience, the people on the left, that's kind of what I ran into. And now it's this chain reaction of like, all right, I identify as left, so this is the way I live my life type of thing.
I identified as left for my entire life, and then all of a sudden...
Same.
I was not left anymore.
Right.
And they let me know. Like, I was no longer in the clubhouse. I was, like, outside of the clubhouse.
They kicked you out.
With a Facebook ban of, like... No, I never got banned. But, you know what I mean? Like, you did?
Of course I did. Yeah. You know me.
I've never been banned, but I feel like I might have, like, been shadowed somehow at some point.
I get shadow banned regularly on Instagram.
Like, video counts went way low after the beginning of the year for me and other people I know, and I've quickly learned how to kind of run against the algorithms at play to get views, and so we're kind of back up to where we were, but not really. Like, we're at 50% where we were. In 2018, you know, I would easily see 1,000 views, maybe 890 views on a video. And then this year, it was like 35 views, you know what I mean? And that was just like really weird, because we had just started the whole podcast, and I was like really excited about it. I'm like, we got good content, finally. And I post, and it's like, it set at 0 for like 4 hours. And then finally it started ticking, and I was like, okay. And then it was like 12 views. And then by the end of the next day, it was at 30 views, and it stopped. And I was like, okay. And so I learned that if I post to groups, I'm really good. But yeah. YouTube, I've never had luck there.
No. YouTube is, you have to repost YouTube in all the places. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Like, having the swipe up link, I will say it's a nice tool for Instagram.
You earned it, right?
Yeah.
You got to a point, I don't know how many...
10,000 followers is when you get it.
And you're 5 times that now.
But it's crazy because the algorithm's so funny, and I know that I'm being shadow banned because I'll talk about something political. I spend a week, very low, great content, low engagement. And then I'll post a couple things, and all of a sudden it's like normal engagement for my following.
Mm-hmm. Now, are you doing Reels?
Yeah, I hate Reels, but yeah.
But is that where you are, is in Reels?
And you do, so ideally it's one static post or IGTV a week, and then the rest Reels.
And you have more action on your Reels than you do typically.
Well, it depends. It really depends.
Not for me.
So for me, it really depends, because I get a lot of action on my posts when I'm not being shadow banned. So I'll post something political, all my views will go down, all of a sudden they'll go back up, and as soon as I post something political again, boom, they're back down. And I'm like, it's been this roller coaster for probably 3-4 weeks now of going through this cycle, and it's just really frustrating, because it's like, why am I even making content at this point?
Well, let me tell you my stories short. They're not my Instagram stories, they're my Reels story. So I use my Reels more like family engagement, and I don't really try to make my Reels my professional thing, even though it's going out through Josh Lee Media, but it's just like my kid and me playing and like whatever. And eventually I might start trying to bring this thing in. But I don't know how to truncate a 3-hour podcast into 1 minute. Like, I'm just not at that point.
So
I just haven't figured out how to really cut that right.
The best thing that I would do is get 4 or 5 topics and do 4 or 5 1-minute quick hits. Like,
yeah.
That way you could just post it as a reel, and you have like 5 teasers that you could promote for an entire week. You're promoting one podcast interview.
Well, this is what happens to me, though. It's just family stuff, but I won't post anything for a week or 4 days, and I'll come back on a Tuesday. Tuesday morning's a really good time to post, and I'll have a really cool little short video of my lava lamp, or of like the studio, or just like my kid doing something cute. And that first video will like go into some kind of weird algorithm stream, and it'll be there for an hour, and in an hour it'll hit 4,800 views or 1,700 views, more than 1,000 views typically, right? And I'm like, whoa. And then I'll post again 2 hours later, 90 views.
Yeah.
And then I'll do 3 more, and they're all 100 views, 200 views. But that takes a week. Like, they get them over a week. And then I won't post again until the following Tuesday morning.
And it's the same thing.
And it's the exact same thing again. And so I'm learning, okay, well, Tuesday morning is my time to get that one out. So now I'm thinking about the journal and how I can use one of those videos to stream in. And the funny thing is, I just did this tutorial on YouTube today. I was like, wow, that's mind-blowing. But one thing that people are doing to build their channels up is they're creating these, like, they're going on stock media sites and buying, like hipster stock video that's just, like, rolling water or some type of, like, meditation track, like, for visuals. And then they go and they download a meditation track that's Creative Commons song, and then they'll loop it for 3 hours, and then they'll put it on their YouTube channel, and they'll sell it as meditation video. And then those videos are apparently thrown into a stream too on YouTube. And so they're building their channel up because they'll have their podcasts and their how-tos, their tutorials, but then they'll have this weird playlist of just like
meditation,
flowers blossoming with meditation music under it, and those all have like 323 million views, and then their followings start to go up. And I'm like, well, okay, I have a lot of stock video. I could do this, maybe make that a thing, you know, do some virtual tours, put them in music, and so.
It just...
But it's weird you gotta play this weird game.
That's what I was about to say. It just takes so much patience to play the social media algorithm game.
It's gonna take like 50 of those videos to even get traction.
And it's like, at what point is it worth it? Is it not worth it?
The
You're
guy
like,
was showing how much money he was making per month, and I'm like, fuck him. I'm making $59,000 a month. I'm like, really? Are you really though? Like, and you know, he's got his silver plaque behind him on the wall. The YouTube plaque, you know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you're chasing the Joneses or whatever, right? Sorry, I got uncomfortable.
That's how it feels, though. It's like, at what point are you chasing what other people are doing and trying to keep up with that, or are you in your own lane doing your own thing?
I'm obviously in my own lane.
Right.
Right, but my own lane doesn't have any people driving in it.
Right. Well, you can't. So one, you can't compare, because when they first started, they were in their own lane with no one else driving in it as well. And I think the hardest thing for us to even accept and be okay with is the fact that time is what it takes to grow. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that you're going to grow to where you want to be, but it's going to be that time.
I'll be
really
like 42
right
before it happens. 3 years. I give myself 3 years, I think.
Yeah, 3 to 5 years is what is really truly what it takes.
Yeah, and I've been at Ridge Journal for 5 years already.
Right.
And it has been a pain. You know, like up and down, hills everywhere.
And that's the nature of the journey, though.